All right, chat, we're back, and we have very, very good things to discuss here on the Coin Zone. It is Thursday, October 30th. It is spooky season, one day before Halloween. Are we spooked? But listen, guys, we have some good breaking news. Breaking. U.S. and China declare one-year trade truce after Trump and Xi talk per YF. Let's just keep it moving, okay? This is directly from the White House. I had a truly great meeting with President Xi of China. There is enormous respect between our two countries, and that will only be enhanced with what just took place, President Trump said via Truth Social. Now, again, if you guys are just rolling in now and tuning into the show now, what is going on? You are watching the Coin Zone. I'm Crypto with Paul. Make sure to sub to the channel on the way in. Like this video on the way in. What we do here is cover breaking news. And right now, the US and China are coming to a trade agreement. So this is a big deal. Let's keep it moving. On a scale of 0 to 10, I would say the meeting with President Xi was a 12. Let's listen to this audio clip of Trump.
But overall, I guess on the scale of from 0 to 10, with 10 being the best, I would say the meeting was a 12. Okay, I think it was a 12. I think very importantly, just the whole relationship is very, very important, and I think it was really good.
All right, so President Trump himself said this was a very good meeting. Just back to this one as well. I had a truly great meeting with President Xi of China. So, I mean, anything that is positive in regards to the truce, between US and China and the ongoing trade negotiations is positive. Now, what is the weird thing about this, however, though? Well, the weird thing is this, guys. Yes, we're getting positive news. Yes, everything is great. But why are we seeing this instead? Good Fed news, dump crypto. Good China news, dump crypto. Stocks up, dump crypto. Stocks down, dump crypto. Take a poop, dump crypto. Amazing technology here. Well, Lark Davis seems to have a point, and if we go and just look at the markets, Bitcoin's less than 108,000. Ethereum is back under 4K, not just a little bit, it's at 3,700 now. Solana's down almost 7%, under $200. ADA's at 60 cents. Despite all this good news, guys, why do you think we are seeing the markets react this way? It's a little strange. Now, basically, what have these last couple of months showed us, all of 2025 really showed us, or told us, is that you can't trust anybody. Everybody was wrong. We all thought 2025 was going to be euphoria. Really hasn't been. Okay. If we just keep it moving, though, after today's discussions about China and the United States, investors are waking up to some major news from Trump and Xi. This is from the Kabisi letter. The 100% tariff on China is no longer going to, quote unquote, live. Instead, President Trump is lowering his fentanyl tariff on China from 20% to 10%. And the overall tariff rate on China is down from 57% to 47%. In addition, the US and China have reached a one-year rare earths deal. President Xi will be visiting the US after a quote-unquote amazing meeting, and President Trump will return to China in April. This round of the US-China trade war is over. That is definitely something to celebrate. Now, the outcomes achieved by China and the US in the fields of economic trade, let's take a look. So, cancel the so-called 10% fentanyl tariffs, suspend for 1 year the 24% reciprocal tariffs on Chinese goods, including those from Hong Kong, SAR, and Macau SAR. The expansion of the entity list export restrictions to any entity owned 50% by one on the list. The Section 301 measures on maritime logistics and shipbuilding. Great. Now let's take a look at this photo. Who was sitting at the negotiation table for China and the United States? Well, plenty of familiar faces here. Marco Rubio, Howard Lutnick. We have our guy here, Okay, Scotty B. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty never knows. We love China. All right, Scott Bessent. Shout out to Scott Bessent. Who else did we have in this photo, guys? All right, so Team China. Kai, Chief of Staff. Wang Yi, Top Diplomat. He, Li Fang, Lead Negotiator. Yeah. So we have a lot of important Chinese officials. Jameson Greer, Trade Representative for the United States. Howard Lutnick, like I said. Marco Rubio. Susie Wiles, White House Chief of Staff. And David Perdue, U.S. Envoy to China, Busan. Great. Well, listen, guys. Anybody to bring peace and to get deals done, that's going to help the markets, help the world, help the economy. That is a positive thing. So, my question to you, though, is take off to the downside, question mark? Like, why are we experiencing this, guys? If anybody wants to leave me their personal thoughts, that would be good. I'm very interested to hear other people's opinions on what they think is happening right now in the markets. What is really happening? We have all this great news, yet it doesn't really seem like things are moving in the way that we wanted to. Very, very interesting. So I'd be very curious to hear what you guys think about this. Once again, if you're just tuning in now, you are watching the Coin Zone. I'm your host, Crypto with Paul. Go check out our interview yesterday that we just had come out with Leo Lanza. We talked about Ethereum. So don't miss that, guys. All right, it's a great interview there. Also, we have some more stuff coming in the future. So just sub in the meantime. If you're here watching, just make sure to subscribe to the channel. You know, always watch out for breaking news because when stuff happens, we're here covering it live. All right, guys. Just wanted to come on the channel here and talk about the United States and China. Okay, this is very, very big. Justin Trump lowers tariffs on China and lifts rare earths roadblock. That is a very big deal, guys. Okay, this roadblock with the rare earths, because that is, as we know, basically everything is built with rare earths. Rare earth metals, you know, chips, cars, electric cars, etc., all this stuff. So it's a very important aspect of, you know, global trade. All right. So shout out to Donald Trump, shout out to Xi Jinping. We'll see what happens. We'll see, you know, after we just get quantitative tightening is stopping. We got a rate cut. We have a China trade USA negotiation deal. All this bullish stuff, and like nothing's happening. Chief Yorkie, what's going on, brother? I appreciate you tapping in. Love the videos. Let's go. We got a video, I believe, coming out later today. It might be as well. And that one would be a little interesting. We're going to actually schedule it out on Saturday. That is interesting. Just read that as I'm going live. So make sure you stick around for our video on Saturday. It's going to be about 2 competing altcoins and their communities. That's going to be a fun video. Make sure you're around for that one. All right. Chief the Yorkie, appreciate you tapping back in. What are your thoughts on this China USA trade deal? And let me know, you know, your thoughts on this. Really take off to the downside. Why do we see all this bullish news and we see Bitcoin below 110,000? At this point, like, I have a lot of my bullishness has honestly evaporated. I'm just being completely honest with you guys. Like, I'm now trying to plan my life differently, as if in the most conservative way possible, as if we don't get any bull run this year at all and nothing happens for the next couple of years or so. Because I'll be honest, I didn't expect to see ADA still at 60 cents 4 or 5 years later. All right, I didn't expect some of these numbers. I expected ETH to be above 4,000 at this point, above 5,000 at this point, considering Bitcoin's over $100,000. You know, I expected a little different, you know, things that ended up happening at this point. So It is what it is, though, guys. This is what it is. This is what we all signed up for. Everything's not going to ever go perfect. Morning, and thanks for the info. You are welcome, King. Appreciate you tapping back in. I'm starting to think we might have hit the top. I don't want to believe that. I don't think we really have, because if you look at the 30 indicators that really point towards altcoin season being over and the bull market being over, none of them hit yet. The only one that is concerning to me is the bear market usually starts 500 days after a halving. We've already hit that point. So historically, that makes sense, right? But you have all these guys like Raoul Pal and all these different guys out here that are saying, oh, well, you know what? This isn't based off the Bitcoin 4-year cycle. It's based off of global debt and the debt cycle, the debt refinance cycle. That's why Trump is so pushing. This is why Trump wants Jerome Powell to cut the rates immediately, because he needs to refinance the debt. He needs to do it cheaper. So I think they want us to think that and be more defeated. This is the point where they really understand the use case of crypto and want a good position. I mean, that's exactly it. This is what institutions do. It's a good point, King. Yeah, I mean, the institutions are getting in. They're going to do any manipulation that they can to get into lower levels and try to creep you out of getting in at these levels. My best investment within crypto took me a while to figure out. Okay, I bought a bunch of Bitcoin. Not a bunch. I'm not freaking rich out here, I'll be honest. Okay, but I bought a bunch of Bitcoin at like 30K, and I still hold it to this day. I haven't sold, and I'm doing great there. But it took me a couple of years to realize that. And now I'm more focused on AI plays and just kind of, maintaining and building the portfolio that I already have. So, and you're right. Notice they haven't let it go down too much in fear of someone buying it cheaper. It shoots right back up. Yeah, I mean, the liquidation event was the most insane thing I've ever seen. I'm not even kidding. I've been in crypto for a long time. That was possibly one of the weirdest, most insane things I've ever seen, because that was one of the few weekends where I was actually really busy. I was hiking. I was in Vermont for the weekend with my girlfriend, our family and stuff. So I wasn't checking the markets for like probably 48 hours in that time span. That never happens. I'm always checking the markets. In that one little window, the one time I'm not checking anything, the market goes down like 70% and then right back up again to normal levels. Like I saw ADA went down to like 38 cents or something at one point. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is absolutely insane. And then right back up like I missed the entire thing. I don't know. To me, that was just some sort of weird manipulation or timing. Trump knows what he's doing when he announces these things, right before, on Sunday afternoon, right before the markets open. And he's a smart guy in that respect. But I think there was a little bit of manipulation of people taking advantage of that. Wish I could have bought more ADA at 38 cents. That would have been amazing. But this is what's going on, guys. Pay attention. And I do agree with you, King. Chief the Yorkie, like right now is so, it's so easy just to be like, you know what? I'm done with this whole thing. I don't want to do this anymore. Nah, bro. Have that conviction. Have that mindset. Long-term, zoom out, diamond hands. It's crazy. I was watching real time. It was so nuts. For sure, manipulation. I mean, like, I think they're going to start looking into it. I think the Coin Bureau had a post about it recently. Let me see. Was it Coin Bureau or? I just saw a post about this recently. Supposedly the government is actually going to look into the event. Wasn't Coin Bureau. Maybe Cointelegraph, maybe, don't remember. But the post was basically telling us the government will be looking into what happened. Okay, here it is, actually. All right, Cointelegraph, inside. Insider trading is an SEC country club looking for a scapegoat. As crypto exposes layers of TradFi manipulation, is the system cracking or just protecting its own? No, I mean, Okay, so let's just maybe read a little bit more of this article. Insider trading is an SEC country club looking for a scapegoat. This is Cointelegraph, and this is 7 hours ago. Crypto's transparency reveals market manipulation. Okay, let's just put this bigger on the screen here and then actually share what the hell I'm reading. That would be very helpful. All right, here we go. So, the largest, here we go. If you guys can read along with me, let's get it. Okay, the largest liquidation event in the history of the crypto market, which wiped out at least 19 billion in long positions after US President Donald Trump announced punitive tariffs on China late on October 10th. How freaking crazy is this? Everything comes full circle. The crypto space had an absolute freaking meltdown because Trump announcing tariffs 20 days ago. 20 days later, an agreement's made. Guys, unreal. All right, so this exposed an ugly side of this nascent market, its vulnerability to insider trading. On-chain data shows that a significant short position was taken out on Hyperliquid just half an hour before the big announcement. Once the market plummeted, this trader bagged 160 million, sparking speculation over market manipulation, with some even theorizing that the whale behind the transaction was close to the president family itself. Speculation aside, this is admittedly just one of many examples of potential insider trading in the digital asset space, which plagues the industry. Indeed, token launch models themselves deserve scrutiny, as they often reward venture capitalist firms with pre-launch allocations they sell on listing, to the detriment of retail traders. For all its progress, crypto remains the Wild West, largely unregulated and open to market manipulation. Well, we are getting a lot of regulation, and it is helping, and shout out to Paul Atkins. They should, for sure, market manipulation, especially the dude that took out the shorts right before Trump's announcement, just like we just read. Absolutely. Money keeping money in the money is what we saw. Stay in it for the long haul, trying to get as much crypto as possible for 2030, trying to retire before 5-7. I freaking agree with that. I'm trying to bag as much crypto as I can before 2030. 100% agree with that. And when you look at it that way, it's like easier to start dollar cost averaging and start investing in these projects, because it's like, oh, I'm just going to buy a little bit here, buy a little bit there. And then, in 5 years from now, we'll see. That's a good strategy. I'm not saying do exactly that. Be more focused and diligent and have obviously a thought out plan. But if, you just want to buy chunks at a time, you want to get rich quick, freaking tomorrow, you're not going to have long-term conviction. You're going to get shaken out easier, etc. So you really know what you're getting yourself into, guys. Yeah, but this is it. Very, very interesting article from Cointelegraph. And yeah, we will see what happens here. We're even seeing the White House and Democrats right now trying to basically ban Trump from making any sort of trades, companies, etc. with crypto. And any sitting member of Congress, I believe, as well. So, we'll see what happens, guys. All right. These guys are fearless. And that's about it from me. All right. This is the Coin Zone. I'm Crypto with Paul. If you guys haven't subbed to this channel yet, make sure to do that. Stick around for our new video coming out on Saturday, and make sure to go watch our latest interview that we did with Leo Lanza on YouTube. That was primarily about Ethereum. All right, guys, go check this out. Leo and I had a great discussion. He's a very smart dude. He knows a lot. So I know ETH is a bigger altcoin. Not many people care about ETH, but understanding where the economy is going macro-wise, bigger picture-wise, and where certain cryptos are going, Ethereum being one of them, it's something you can't ignore. Even though it's ETH and it might not be as fun to talk about as Solana or Sui or something, other altcoins. If you want to invest in the space, you have to understand what's happening and you have to understand the players. And Ethereum has been chosen as a massive player in crypto. At this point, it's basically Bitcoin and ETH and everything else that's trying to stick around and survive, get ETFs, Wall Street adoption, etc. But ETH is ETH, guys. Wall Street and a lot of other entities have picked it. All right. Go learn a lot about ETH in that interview. That's all I'm asking. Thought I was sharing this on my screen the whole time. There it is. All right. Chief the Yorkie and King, you guys are the absolute best. I appreciate the tapping in. Seriously, though. When do you loosely predict retail will be back in the market from the economy scare and precious crypto markets loses? Well, I'm still sticking to the thesis that Q4 is going to be bullish. November and December, I think it'd be months where things start trending upward again. And then into Q1, I think that we can see, especially if things continue up on that upward trend and Bitcoin reaches maybe, 125 again or 130 and ETH crosses over 5K again, I think that's when interest from retail is going to come back. I think it's going to have to be Bitcoin and ETH because, we saw BNB hit an all-time high and no one cared. BNB is kind of just doing its own thing. It's exchanges. Many people, think that's a little manipulation that goes on there. It's a little different with exchanges. But that's always a good sign too. When exchanges see inflows and all-time highs, that usually means that retail is using their exchange to buy crypto. So, I mean, it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. But yeah, I would say Bitcoin and ETH have to run again, and then the market will follow, and then retail will follow. That's my 2 cents. Anyway, I appreciate you guys for tapping in. Like I said, make sure to sub to the channel. We'll be back. Stick around. This is the Coin Zone, as you guys know. I'm Crypto with Paul. We'll be back soon. So tap back in when I'm doing another live tomorrow. But until then, take care, guys.